guys, we're back with the next part. I finally have my new wrench set that's going to be over here. It's going to allow me to remove these 12-point bolts and remove these cams entirely as one piece. So let's go ahead and do that. While I was waiting, I went ahead and just began kind of cleaning some of the front over here and inside the wheel well. You can see it's just cleaner than it was. I still have to go over all the wiring on this part, but let's continue over here. I just laid the cover on this real quick, so we're gonna go ahead and remove that. Okay, we got that down, threw the bolt back on for now. Yeah, let's get these socket set undone. Okay, so I got this just cheap set of 12-point sockets from Amazon. Looks like they got some oil on it already to prevent it from rusting. Based off of the size, I would assume it's an 8mm 12-point, and it's bigger, so let's see if it's a 10. Bingo. I'll come back to you guys when I got these removed. Okay, those are now off. So these, I believe, should just slide out. I'm gonna try and keep them together, and I'm gonna need both my hands for this, so we'll come back. All right, here you can see the journals for this cam cap cover. Super smooth, no issues with these. I'm gonna go ahead and put them down over here, everything in place. All right, so the exhaust from the driver's side came out super easy. They should just pop right out. This one, on the other hand, may be seized onto it, which is weird because, I mean, the journals look okay. There's not even bad scoring on it. Just gonna go at it, but yeah, this should not be this hard to take off. I'll show you guys the result. All right, so after a few love taps from the bottom side with Mr. Persuasion over here, it did pop up. So I mean, they all look okay. Not entirely sure why. Let's get a better view of this. Yeah, nothing catches the fingernail. Not really sure why that one was so tight in there compared to the exhaust side. Okay, this is the passenger side, intake and exhaust. I can take this cover off. Looks pretty good. Same thing, just oil. So same thing. This one was a little stuck in there, but with the Persuasion hammer, she pops out. I don't see any real issues with these. You can take a look at. Because it doesn't want to focus up, but these journals are pretty good. So I'm happy with that. See if we can turn this engine over now with that disconnected. Okay, so just quickly throwing this back on. I'm still not able to turn it by hand, which will indicate that it's an issue with the bottom end. I guess I should have the intake plate coming in today. Just waiting for the UPS man right now. That way we can just pull everything apart. Maybe I'll start taking the head bolts off. Yeah, it's gonna be it for now. Next part will probably be showing hood removal and removing this engine. All right, Mr. UPS man actually just showed up, so let's get this plate open. We're gonna throw it on the intake, and we're gonna start removing these rockers and the followers, I should say, and the head bolts and all that good stuff. All right, so to put this plate on, I actually have to remove this little coolant tube, these coolant tubes. So they're just gonna be 8 millimeters, and then I'll get back to that. Okay, now that that's sitting perfectly flat on it, you can see the holes line up. You want to go ahead and, if you didn't already, make sure your threads are clean. Go ahead and clean them, then use the supplied hardware. These are going to be 10 millimeters. Starting by hand, don't over torque them. You are going into an aluminum head, so just be careful. Once that's snugged up, you go into a next pattern and continue to tighten like that. That's all set. We're going to go ahead and start on removal of these guides, making sure to have them all labeled and in place. The first thing is going to be to clean up the table a little bit. Okay, so this is going to be number 1. You can see I labeled them, so I'm going to put them exactly how I take them out. I'm going to go ahead and do this for all of them, and I'll come back when I have everything out. Okay, so the driver's side is all done. I grabbed these rollers and nothing is seized up nor scratched up, so that's a good sign as well. Okay, I got my 15 millimeter and my breaker bar. I'm not going to be able to videotape this, but I know these are a pain in the ass, so let's see how this goes. All right, so the first one actually broke free pretty easily. Gonna try and go in the next pattern. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to get these back ones off, but let's see. I might have to take this brace off. All right, well, I cracked them all loose. Yeah, that was not bad at all. Everybody was having trouble with the head bolts, but mine came off relatively easy. And I have Harbor Freight tools, so not a crazy breaker bar, but one of them Chinesium ones. All right, continuing the video. I put some tape around the hinges on both sides so I know exactly where the hood goes. I did loosen these 13 millimeters, and I have help coming right now. I'm gonna fix this up, and we're gonna lay it on the hood of the car. Okay, first look. These are all good. Okay, now the update everyone's been waiting for. Block is out, completely disassembled. All the heads look good, head gaskets look okay. The cylinders look pretty good. Let me shine a flashlight on it. All right, you can see a little bit of piston slap, basically on every cylinder. They're all pretty good. I did clean them out and hit them with WD-40. You see good cross hatching on them. But nothing that catches your nail or anything crazy. Let me show you guys the other side. Okay, now they got a block turned. See, this is all just debris, so that comes off. I just hit it with WD-40 just so it doesn't flash rust. I cleaned everything out, then hit it. Now I'm going to show you guys where the crank was. Okay, this is where the crank was sitting on. I did go ahead and remove all the bearings, so what you're seeing is where the bearings sat. You see a little bit of damage on all of these, but this first one, cooked. You're gonna have to, and there's your part number. You can see this bearing is just still in there. You're gonna have to be cleaned out. So it's not a bearing still in there. That's just the crank itself. Not sure they're gonna be able to fix that, but that's the worst of them all. And you go ahead and look at the crank itself. This buddy got toasty. Let's see, cylinders. I think you start with 1 over there, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, is it 1 through 4 and then 6 through 8? I don't remember. But now the actual mains themselves look really good. Thrust bearing. Yeah, you can see. They all look pretty good. When you get to the rod bearings, they just absolutely cooked themselves on there. That one still has part of a bearing on it. You can see the real heat that this engine took. And then if I lift the crank off, I'll show you guys the rods. Okay, take a look at the discoloration between them. This is like your normal no heat in these, where the journal was really nice and clean like that. And you could just see how cooked these got. Regular color, completely dark. Regular color, completely dark. Completely dark. So, surprisingly, piston 4 and 8 are the ones that receive less heat. So, that's all that bearing material you saw in the oil pan down there. Once again, the crank. So I'm gonna see if I can find myself a used $500 crank just to polish up. We are gonna be getting either Mallet or Manley pistons for this, with Manley rods, better bearings, GT350R timing kit. They're gonna see if this block is savable. I don't really see an issue with it. If they just clean this up and put an oversized bearing in it. But yeah, that's the update. So next video should be getting everything back from the machine shop. I'll show you guys the bottom of the heads too. This is gonna be the driver's side head. You can see a lot of carbon buildup, but no real issues with it. No signs of head gasket failure. Very happy with that. Just burning oil, looks like. And I'll show you the passenger side. This is the passenger side head. Same thing, just a lot of carbon buildup, but they all look pretty even. So I did fucking just nick the valve cover gasket on this head. I said the valve cover gasket. I'm hoping the valve cover gasket will fill this in. It's not that deep, but it may be enough to bother it. I'll have to see. I put a little silicone on that when I put the valve cover gasket back on. Also, when I nicked it, I dropped it actually off of the fucking table, but I nicked the sensor up, so I'll buy a new sensor for that as well. I did forget to show the crank caps though. Same thing, this is that number 1 where you can see a lot of heat went through. Definitely spun on this one. The rest seem to be pretty okay. But yeah, follow along if you want to see what I get back from the machine shop. Alrighty, now that we got the engine out and I showed you a little bit of the block, I'll show you guys some of the carnage that came out of it. So this is your crankshaft from the Voodoo. You can see how the bearings spun. So this is the front of the engine. You can see the darkening around where the snout is over here. That's the bearing that I believe spun on it. So then you can see the rods is gonna be I believe 4 and 8 over here. Same thing, pretty bad. The journals themselves for the crank all look pretty good except for this one. Then you have, I believe, 3 and 7, pretty cooked. The journal, what's that? That's gonna be 2 and 6, I believe. And then 1 and 5. 1 and 5, absolutely perfect. Every other one, cooked. You can see the back one. Now, if you take a look at the pistons, this is the back of the engine, this is the front of the engine. Although I would have expected to see the back of the engines be pretty bad, just take a look at that color difference as you get closer over here. Normal piston color, that kind of silver, and then just the heat, the amount of cooked oil that these rods went through. You can see on some of the bearings, they were glued onto the crank, and we had to chisel them off. Not sure if the machine shop will say this crank is usable, but you can see it's pretty I don't know. There's a lot of that still bearing material. Let's see if we could have them take some material off and run an oversized bearing. All the wrist pins seem pretty good on these pistons. A lot of carbon buildup, a lot of oil on these. Yeah, I'll show you guys the heads on it as well. So unfortunately I did film all of this, but the video got corrupted, so you didn't get to see anything of me and my dad pulling it. I did manage to, this is a driver's side head, I did manage to drop it off the fucking table, hit my transmission. Luckily didn't break anything. Very fortunate for that. I did mark the cylinder head on the valve cover side. so I'll make sure to put a little extra goop on that. And I did mess up this cam sensor, so I will be buying a new one for that. Let me show you guys the valves without having everything fall out. This is cylinder 8, 7, 6, and 5. The head gasket surface looks pretty good on it. Same thing, I don't see any real issues, just a lot of carbon buildup. These are the main caps. This is that very first one, which I believe is the one that spun. Although the back of it doesn't look like it's spun, so at least not on the cam, on the cap side. That's the worst of them all. The rest of these look pretty good. Moving on to the passenger side. Okay, this is the passenger side. Same thing, head gasket looked pretty good. Doesn't look like any failures with that. Let me raise this up for you. So I'm trying to do this in a way not to make everything fall. So same thing, this is gonna be number 1 on the passenger side. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, and 4. A lot of carbon buildup. Nothing really crazy on that I see. But overall, pretty good. Pretty happy with that. This is the front of the engine. Now, I initially thought this one spun because of the discoloration on it. It almost looks like it's cast. And the camera doesn't really, there you go. Let me know your comments on this. Then the rest of these show just signs of heat. No real damage other than this first one. I'll show you guys the cylinder heads again with a little more light this time. Okay, so this is the driver's side, cylinder 5, 6, 7, and 8. I did clean them out, hit them with oil. It's a little hard to tell on camera. Let me see if I could see. You can see, there we go. Some of the scoring, very, very minimal on pretty much every cylinder. A little bit of piston slap. I did throw some WD-40 on them just to let it not flash rust on me after cleaning them. And this is your driver's side again. I'm sorry, this is passenger side. This is just dirt. You can actually see still a good amount of cross hatching on these. Looks like a little bit coolant in them, but this all comes off. Overall, very happy with the block. Gonna send it out to the machine shop, talk about this right here, see if that's fixable. I am gonna try and reuse this crank if I can't find a good used one for under 600 bucks. Yeah, people like to go crazy on the prices of these. It did see a good amount of heat, but I'm not paying $1,000 for a new crank. I'd rather pay $300 to get it fixed, and we'll see what the machine shop says. So thank you guys for watching, and hopefully the next video will be getting everything back from the machine shop and nice and clean. So I'm gonna probably make a new series of cleaning this thing, getting everything fixed over here. But you see some oil that dripped down there. I did have to go ahead and remove the steering column, so I'm gonna have to replace those bolts. Yeah, thank you guys for watching.